Printify's latest integration with Amazon is about to take print on demand to the next level. The world's largest marketplace is waiting for your items along with its massive audience. And that's why it's important to know how to set up your store the right way. And here to tell us all about that is Abby Malco for an Amplified exclusive. She is the manager of small business partnerships and education. And over the last 15 years, she's been in charge of business management, operations, and growth. Essentially, it's her job to help you know what your store needs to succeed. Abby, thanks for joining us for Amplified.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
So, what are the key things that you need to consider in order to start selling in an Amazon store?
That's like the $1 million question.
I bet.
I think maybe we should start with the very beginning. So a lot of folks don't know that there are a couple different subscription selling plans that we offer. So the first step would really be making sure that you select the right subscription plan for you. Most folks typically sign up for the professional selling plan, which is $39.99 a month. It also makes you eligible for a lot of our programs. And then some also sign up for our individual selling account, and that is 99 cents a sale. I would always recommend, if you're just starting out, to maybe start with the individual selling plan, and then as you gain more traction, you can easily switch over to the professional selling plan that we have. So that would be your very first step in the process, is deciding which subscription plan do I sign up for.
Right, exactly. Start with the basics so you know what the features are, and then you can add on the more as you go. But in your opinion, what are some of the common pitfalls that people should avoid when they're selling in an Amazon store?
Yes, a lot of people don't realize that your product detail page is so
Right.
important. So if I'm shopping in Amazon store, I'm always going to be looking for the product first. The Amazon customer looks for the product first, not the brand. So it's very important to have a compelling product detail page. And what I mean by that is really also leveraging keywords. So a lot of people don't know that you can leverage keywords on the back end, which is visible in Seller Central. And you can also leverage keywords on the front end, which is visible on your product detail page. So the more keywords you leverage, the better. Whatever keyword you think people will use to find your product, make sure that you're maximizing those, because they're free. You can use as many as keywords as you like. Another key thing to consider too is your images. So image quality is absolutely paramount.
Absolutely.
You can't
Yeah.
you just can't do low res. You need high res images. We always recommend having your primary image on a white background. Lifestyle imaging is really, really popular, as well as incorporating video. So those would be the two first things I would recommend to people.
Definitely. The one thing that we always tell people is, people may spend with their wallets, but they buy with their eyes, essentially. So that mock-up
Yes.
space is prime real estate. Abby, ever since we've started putting this integration together, one of the questions that we get all the time from people, especially when it comes to selling on Amazon, is, as a small businesses, do you need a trademark to sell in an Amazon store? And what if they don't have one?
You don't need a trademark to sell an Amazon store. However, especially because we're speaking to the print on demand audience here, my recommendation is, let's say you've created a unique original design that you're using Printify to print on demand for, right? You don't really want anyone to duplicate or replicate that
Sure.
design. So it's very important that you should copyright the design. A lot of people confuse what a copyright is with what
Yeah.
a trademark is. A trademark is only going to protect the name of your company as well as the logo of your company, whereas that copyright is what protects the design of the image that you're printing on demand.
Now, tell me a bit about Amazon's IP accelerator service providers for non-trademark related services. What is about that?
This is one of my favorite programs that Amazon has, because one of the very first small businesses I worked with at Amazon almost 6 years ago, she was actually on Shark Tank, and she got funded by one of the sharks, and she was
Nice.
selling an Amazon store, and when her episode aired, it went viral. But however, she wasn't trademarked, and that was like a catastrophic
Oh boy.
experience for her.
Yeah.
because her product was immediately duplicated in less than 24 hours. So the IP Accelerator is a huge benefit to Amazon sellers because all you need is a pending trademark to get that same protection in the store. And then what's really great about the IP Accelerator is it's all pre-negotiated rates and vetted IP law firms that Amazon has, worked with and established a relationship with. So you're not going to pay more than $700 to file for a trademark. And obviously, you can use that same law firm, that same lawyer to also help you file for a patent, to also help you file for a copyright. So the huge advantage to this program is it just lets you sell in the store earlier while still getting that same protection for your design and for your brand.
Definitely. Now, I want to go back to what you said about how to construct the perfect product detail page or how to optimize that. So what are some key things to consider as someone is creating their product detail page?
Yeah, we talked about keywords and we talked about the number of images. The number of images should always be 6, or what we see that's more and more common is 5 images and 1 video. People really resonate with video.
Right.
A lot of people too are starting to leverage A+ content more and more. A+ content is it can be a little overwhelming in the beginning, but when you're just setting it up, there are modules that you can just drag and drop images to. But what it does is it just replaces the product description from being text to image. And as you already mentioned, people really resonate with image more and more and more. And what we're seeing as a very common theme here at Amazon is text on image is becoming even more and more popular as well. So again, it's just a really a better way to amplify. And what we've seen here at Amazon is if you do have A+ content, your sales can increase by as much as 20% on average. So it's a great way to help boost your brand and your visibility within the store.
Definitely. And I'm glad that you dropped amplified in there because that is exactly what we're doing here today. Now, this is the thing I think that confuses a lot of people because when they think of Amazon, they think, FBA, you're fulfilled by Amazon. But especially for the print-on-demand folks out there, how does a small business fulfill orders in an Amazon store?
Yes, the fulfillment thing can get a little tricky, and I've worked with literally thousands of small businesses since I've been at Amazon. And I think the small businesses that have it truly figured out is they kind of combine both fulfillment by Amazon with fulfillment by merchant. Why is that? Because you never want to run out of stock. So let's say that your fulfillment by Amazon inventory is running low. You can just switch on fulfillment by merchant and make sure that you can still fulfill those orders. Because once you run out of stock, that can potentially deactivate your product listing, right? So fulfillment by Amazon, we do know that you can leverage fulfillment by Amazon while using Printify. The thing I want to call out with fulfillment by Amazon is you can't use it for customization. So let's say I print a, honeymoon 2024 and I have my name written on it. That's a customization, right? And that would be something that you would need to fulfill yourself. With fulfillment by Amazon, they're basically packing, and shipping all of your orders to the customer for you. The only thing you do in the process is ship that inventory to the fulfillment center. And the great thing too about fulfillment by Amazon is they also manage all of your customer service and returns.
Definitely.
And with items like clothing that typically have a higher return rate, that's a huge advantage for small businesses who are looking to grow and scale. And then with fulfillment by merchant, you're just fulfilling yourself. You're leveraging a 3PL like a UPS or Amazon Shipping to fulfill yourself.
Now, one of the things that we talked about, I mentioned in the intro, that you are selling on the world's biggest marketplace, which obviously comes with a lot of benefits. It does, however, come with, a certain level of competition. So how would you suggest sellers kind of configure their stores or configure the way that they're selling their products to help them really get discovered?
Discoverability, yeah, that's another one. Obviously, product reviews are extremely important because when people, like I mentioned earlier, when people are shopping on Amazon, they're looking for the product first, not the brand. So let's say you have a 3-star rating, maybe only a couple of reviews, that can impact you, right? But the positive news is that like your very first product review will increase your sales by up to 3.5 times. So Amazon does have programs like Amazon Vine that the thing about Amazon Vine that I do want to call out is that is exclusive to brand owners.
Mm.
But with Amazon Vine, you can get up to as many as 30 reviews per product, which is really great in boosting your conversion, right? Product reviews are number one. You can also ask for product reviews after folks have made a
Definitely.
sale.
Yes.
So definitely ask for product reviews and make sure that, product reviews again are a really great way to help boost your discoverability. Another key thing that people do as well is obviously advertising. You can sponsor your product, you can sponsor your brand store, you can even advertise off of Amazon with sponsored display, which is a little bit more sophisticated. But if you're just starting out, what we've typically seen is people typically sponsor their products the most. That's the most common way to advertise on Amazon.
Right.
And that's just cost per click ads. So.
Well, I was going to say, now that we're on the topic of marketing, I mean, if I'm a new seller or I'm trying to, really get my feet off the ground on Amazon, how would you prioritize the way that I should approach my marketing? Like, what would be the first thing you think I should do? And then what can I do to work my way up from there?
Yes, you should never advertise on Amazon unless your product detail page is ready to go. And when you're launching on Amazon, you should always have a launch strategy. What can I do to promote my launch off of Amazon? Let's say I have social media channels, I have a YouTube, I have an Instagram, I have TikTok. What can I do to amplify that outside of Amazon? Because you want to really have a launch strategy when you launch in the store to set yourself up for success. With advertising, the biggest thing that I always recommend, if you're doing your very first campaign in Amazon store, make sure you do an automatic campaign first. This is when Amazon's going to pick the keywords for you. It's an algorithm that Amazon has, and then we usually recommend setting that a daily budget of at least $10 and then running that campaign for 2 to 4 weeks.
Mm.
Once that campaign is over, you'll be able to see what are the keywords that people use to find your product the most, and what are the lower performing keywords that you don't need to bid on. And then from there, you can run a manual campaign just using those high performing keywords, and it'll help save you a lot of cost in the end. So always run an automatic campaign first.
Now, we talk about gradually improving your store, scaling your businesses, improving your marketing efforts, and a big part of that is selling internationally. So can you tell me a bit about how you can expand a small business outside of the US or scale your business to other marketplaces in the Amazon store?
Yeah, so with the professional selling plan, like I mentioned earlier, you can sell in the US, Canada, and Mexico with just that one account. So it does give you a lot of flexibility in, let's say you want to scale to Canada next, or you want to scale to Mexico next. You can do that with the professional selling plan. I will call out that, let's say you do want to sell in another geography and you're a trademarked brand, you do need to have that trademark in that country as well. So let's say I'm Nike shoes selling an Amazon store. I can't sell in the UK or Canada unless I have a trademark within that country.
Yep.
So that's first and foremost. But again, you can just leverage the IP accelerator there because they can help you with getting that trademark in other geographies. Amazon also has a really great website called, if you just Google Amazon Global Selling, there's a whole bunch of country specific webinars and videos you can watch that will help you with guiding you with the tax implications for selling in Mexico.
Absolutely, yeah.
And things like that you really need to consider before scaling to that geography. And then a lot of people ask me about manufacturing in China. We know that manufacturing in China is very, very common. So Amazon does have Amazon Global Logistics, which will help you ship your freight from China directly into an Amazon fulfillment center. So it's going to manage all of that for you from China. So there's a couple things to keep in mind as you're looking to scale.
Now, before we let you go, this whole, the idea that we're integrating with one of the biggest marketplaces in the world that honestly has one of the best resource libraries that I've ever seen. So it's important. It's easy to get help on Amazon if you're trying to figure out what your issues are. I had a really great time just kind of combing through and figuring out all the things that I need to accurately set up an account. But can you tell us about some other resources that Amazon has for small businesses to really help them find success?
Yes, I would say first and foremost, you should always keep Seller University in mind. Seller University does have Yeah, they do
Love
have
that.
a YouTube channel that anyone can access, and then there's also topic driven webinars that you can take once you've already set up your account in Amazon store. And then another thing too is we do have our Black Business Accelerator that is for certified product-based Black-owned businesses. So that's another great program to keep in mind. Amazon also has Launchpad that is an invite-only program exclusive to brand owners, but what they're going to be looking at there is your growth potential as well as your organic social media. So keep in mind, social media is super important. And then we have our annual Selling Partner Conference every year. We literally just had it last week in Seattle called Amazon Accelerate. You can participate in the conference virtually or in person, but it's a really great way to connect with different program SMEs across Amazon who can answer your questions on things like fulfillment, product reviews, and things like that. So just keep those resources in mind.
Fantastic. Well, Abby, thank you for joining us for this Amplified exclusive. I know a lot of people are very eager about this integration, and we can't wait to see what they do. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Feel free to drop any comments you have for Abby right here on Discord. And don't forget, if you are using our Amazon US integration, you can opt in to our Amazon Launch Cashback program, which will let you get a 10% cashback on each Amazon US order that is placed. And that's valid until November 15th. So thanks for watching, and let's continue with Amplified.